but it's a perfect story. He gives the tape of it to people at Christmas time. I get things like that, and lots of things like that. I get to see this book being translated into German and into Polish, even into Chinese. I get to see my work done. And from the time that these books were done, and it had all happened, I was suddenly a different person. I wasn't even the same thing. I tried marriage again. It was suicide. It was suicide. It just didn't work that way. And the reason is because toward the end of the marriage, I started to have the visitations again. The dreams started to come back. And that's what I want to tell you about, is the dreams. Now I'm going to tell you the story, and then we'll break and come back for questions and answers. But I am going to make myself comfortable. MythMaker. I want to tell you that before 1967, before I left television, immediately after 1963, when I was nominated for that award, the year I received this flute from my grandfather, I took this flute with me, and I went, as I did every year, from the 20th of January. My route for 2 weeks was into Mexico, into Oaxaca. I've been going there since 1959. I worked for 15 years for Time Life Broadcast, assigned to such places as the Merle and Friendly program and so forth. Network shows, I've worked with Jackie Gleason and, all of the old heads, Arthur Godfrey and so forth. I would take my time and I would go to Mexico. And in that time I had met many beautiful people, many beautiful Indian people. Zapotec, Mixtec, Mahi, Zoki. I had known outside of the valley of Oaxaca. I had gone to the village of Tehuantepec, like every man who reads the book and finds out, hey, they say the most beautiful women in the world are in Tehuantepec. That's what they say, that's the truth. It's been known for ages. They are striking. They are striking women. They're magical women. And they dominate everything around them. They're beautiful. In that place, I met a crazy Zapotec artist who could speak English, Castelo Romero. He was a secondary school teacher, and we became very dear friends. I would come down, and they would celebrate Christmas when Christmas came, but they would have another Christmas when Tony comes. And I would go to Tehuantepec, get off the bus. The streets were always hot. It was snowing in Denver. I would take my bag, walk down the railroad track, down into the banana plantations, and there to the right of the railroad track was his house sitting back with the big wall built around it and the gate, and his wife and his children, and they were very beautiful people, and I loved them and they loved me. And I would always bring Christmas with me, and they would fix things there, and I learned so much about the Zapotec by being there. Castelo knew how much I loved the people and loved the ruins, because that's what I would do. I would go to Monte Alban and meet La Yagul and Zachila, and I knew all of these places, still do. My food's been there, totally different world now. At that time, he said he had planned something for 2 years to take me to a village that's called Mixtequia. You can look this up on a map. Look for a word that looks like Mixtec, M-I-X, right within the barrio of Tehuantepec. It's right there between Tehuantepec and Ixtepec, very close in. He wanted to take me there because a certain woman was there that he wanted me to meet. A bruja, they called, a witch. But she's a healer. She's a diviner. She knows the mystery. Now, Castelo could not speak Mixtec, but his friend, the cab driver. He could. And so could his nephew, Beto. And so we went to the village, walked out carrying our packs and water and food and so forth, and went out, walked maybe 6 miles to the village of Mixtequilla. There it sat. And in Mixtequilla, the old pyramids, unexcavated, still sat there. Still stood right there. Some of them people had dug into a little bit. But all around it, when we got there, Castello told me, he said, don't stop and pick up anything you see. A German was shot here a week ago in the head. Don't touch anything. Just keep walking. And I look at the top of these big, almost Mayan-like pyramids. And there's the Indians up there with rifles. Yeah. Yeah, they meant business. They protect this place. It's very special. I go in, and here is a house. Imagine a house, I'll say it's 20 by 20 feet built of adobe and mudded over. In front of that is a big circle, I'll say 25 feet across, 30 feet across, of upright poles with almost like we would build a Sundance, with the center pole and then boughs going up and brush thrown over, banana leaves and all of that over the top to make it a shade area. And we go through into the stockade like a certain way, and there she is, the woman. She's sitting here. And she is white-haired and pink-skinned and blue-eyed and very bent over, but she looked as if she should be sitting on the front porch of a house in Pennsylvania. She did not look like any of the people. I was shocked. I would understand. Let me share with you first. This isn't the way I got it. I learned later. You see, she is the daughter of a missionary family that went down there years ago, and they both died of typhoid. She lived, and she stayed with the Indians. They raised her, and in time, she became a true spirit woman. Very powerful woman, this lady. She is very strong. She could not speak directly to me, but I thought at first she resented me, but then I got the idea she liked me. She took me to a place. Now, remember, fast story. She took me to a place where there was an altar. Several very nice Zapotec funeral urns, little ones, and some things that looked like souvenirs almost, like you could buy at the gift store somewhere. But very strange looking, almost new looking. And I never have known about that. But one thing that was there was a tequila bottle. And the tequila bottle was the old clear crystal tequila bottle, very highly polished. She explained through the cab driver, through Castello, to me that she had found this in the ocean. And then she handed it to me. And in the bottom of the tequila bottle, there was an Indian head penny, 1900. And you could not shake the penny out because you can't get a penny in to a tequila bottle. How could this be, I said. She said, through the translation, many things should not be that are. She sat me down. What I tell you is the God's truth. She looked at me and she said, you are a Zapotec. And what you are doing now, you have done forever. You know this land. You love these people. You are part of us. Your spirit belongs to this land. You came from here. This is your place. Before I left, she gave me a whole box filled with very unusual figurines from the mounds around there. Figurines that you don't find in private collections. They are rare. It's sort of a human fish figure that was legend to have come from the ocean once. And there's a lot of story about that. She gave me a whole box of that. They were haunting because if you took them, just little ones, and held them in candlelight, and just looked carefully at them, they would almost look as if they were breathing. There was something alive about the way these people made the cheeks, and something about the eyes, even though they were just pinched in, they held life. You could imagine it. It seemed real.